How do you have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh? It's hard. As my video last week showed, I was not having fun with Yu-Gi-Oh for a fair bit. I've started again, but, you know, it's really hard sometimes. And so I decided to speak with my co-creator this week, Ghost Galaxy Cosplay, a fellow TikTok Yu-Gi-Oh sensation, I'd say, who's just passed 100k followers. It's about what makes Yu-Gi-Oh fun for him, whether it be his fanfics or his live stream duels, or just playing a little bit of less competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, have fun and good luck with the guessing game. He'll be guessing a nice T-set pass. So see if you can guess what the cards are and put that in the comments below. Have a lovely week. Until then, see ya.
A lot of people in the comments of our lives, they go, why aren't you just playing it in a call? Or they go, why don't you just play it on Master Duel? What is it that you enjoy about playing Yu-Gi-Oh on camera, but not in like the same way as maybe like a Fafa or an MBT? You're doing it with a very different style of content.
Yeah. So the thing with Fafa and MBT's form of Yu-Gi-Oh is that they use Twitch and YouTube, and that is very crowded with Yu-Gi-Oh content creators.
What do you mean? You're saying that there isn't like a 600-person fight to get in the next MBT 10-minute testing deck list or something? Like, yeah, everybody wants a bit of that clout. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, like if we were to try and start like a full-on Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel, we would struggle a lot because there's already Team APS, there's Team Sam, there's Fafa, there's MBT.
And they're just the big ones. Like, there's so many middle-sized Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers that we don't even know about. I'm learning all the time about people with like 2k subs, 3k subs, 5k subs, 10k subs, who have got amazing content. And they aren't getting watched because they're not in the big leagues. So, you know, forget even all the people with, you know, 100 followers who are making good content and not even getting seen on YouTube. Like, it's, yeah, it's a lot more competitive. Plus, I think your particular flair goes well for TikTok. Having the disc, being willing to play maybe not the most meta optimized decks. It's a very different style of Yu-Gi-Oh that we play in the actual card game as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I have been a very casual player.
You've won more locals than me, I feel like, or you've topped more locals than me.
By sheer dumb luck.
Hey, it counts. We take those. We take those.
Yeah. But the thing with TikTok is you can just be you. There's no worry about, you know, some person at locals being like, you're being over dramatic or something like that. Yeah. Like, you can be the duelist that you want to be on TikTok because there's that freedom. It's not oversaturated with Fafa, with MBT, with Team Sam. There's space for us to grow.
And this isn't an insult to Fafa or MBT or Team Sam because we watch all of their content, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that there's a very different style. And it takes a bit of production. But the fun thing about TikTok, and recently, like recent boom has seen so many people jumping in. Like, we've done it for like a year, but in the last like 2 or 3 months, a lot of new people have started, and some of them are really good and some aren't quite as good as each other, but they're all having loads of fun, and that's what matters.
Indeed. Yeah,
like it's been a big boom. And I think accessibility is a massive thing. Like you didn't need an editing team, you didn't need a stream team, you didn't need to do the Twitch grind for several months, although you have done the Twitch grind a little bit. I've spotted you streaming away on Master Duel here and there.
I haven't played Master Duel in a long time. I've honestly fell out with Master Duel.
I got a bit tired of it. I think if we were to host an event on Master Duel with like a specific rule format, and we had a couple of people we knew in it, it could be fun again, but like raw Master Duel ladder is just quite tedious.
It is. And with Master Duel being digital, it's very hard to be enthusiastic about the cards that you're playing. Whereas when you actually have the physical cards with you, it's like you've got these cards and you're gonna play them. You're gonna summon something crazy. Like you're gonna fuse, I don't know, Elemental Hero Ocean with Elemental Hero Woodsman to summon Elemental Hero Terra Firma for the first bloody time.
A legendary planet card, Terra Firma, straight from the GX manga.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, you're right.
TikTok, in the form that we do it, gives you so much freedom, and I just love it.
Yeah, and for those who maybe listen to the podcast and don't watch us, which I feel like is a very niche audience, but there must exist maybe one or two. We duel every Friday. Now, you duel more than me. I tend to just duel on Mondays and Fridays, but you duel a lot, and it's a lot of fun. We get a lot of nice people. We've got a lot of nice people to duel with. We've got a lot of nice people in our chats that come on the regular. And it's just lovely to see the people. And I think it's getting people excited. And we've got so many, I don't know about you, but I've got so many messages from people being like, I've picked up Yu-Gi-Oh! Again for the first time in like 5-10 years, and I've just been watching you guys play, and then they went and bought like the 25th anniversary collection, or they went and bought themselves whatever starter deck, and then they'll be like, do I get the Trap Trick starter deck, or do I get the Crystal Beast starter deck? And like, get whatever you want. Like, but also, if you want to do well, get the Crystal Beast starter deck, and then get the Trap Trick starter deck, and then you'll have all the staples you need, and then you can play anything you want.
Yeah.
It's true, but you've loved Yu-Gi-Oh! For a very long time. Last time we spoke about how you kind of got into the game. I kind of wanted to talk about, so you do the performances. We do the dual performances on TikTok Live, and obviously you're a cosplayer as well. But you love to get your pen and paper out, and you like to do a bit of a fan fiction as well. You've been delving into the GX. When you get into it, what is it that makes you want to write about it? Because obviously I love watching GX, but I've never wanted to like write myself into the story. What is it that inspired you to sort of jump in? Like, I've never written a fan fiction before, so I know, like, what do you feel when you do it? And do you have it sort of planned out in your head? Is this sort of to fix things that you felt weren't clear in the show? Is it like fixing GX? Is it exploring GX in a new way? Like, I've read it, your characters are very interesting. It's interesting that they interact with pre-existing characters like Zane and Atticus and Kaiba. What is it that inspires you to write?
Well, it's very on the fly thing.
Yeah.
There is no set plan.
No set plan. Are you saying that you don't have the ending laid out? Me and my friends will be devastated. We've been waiting for the big endgame reveal.
I do like the slice of life element that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX gives. Like, it's not all just duel action. There's some, Jaden's stuck in detention.
Yeah.
It's school life, which I started watching GX like on a regular all throughout secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me feel like Duel Academy was like so much better than I was actually in. That school sucked. And if anyone from that school is watching,
they know exactly how bad it is.
They know.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what school it is, but it sucked.
I was gonna say, I almost felt the opposite. I loved the community of Duel Academy, but then I thought, as a kid, I probably wouldn't now, but I was like, God, if I had to do a lecture on trap cards, I probably wouldn't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. You know what I mean? If I had to do homework about counter traps every week, like a 2,000-word essay, I might just give up on this game, you know, by the end of it. But I guess that's what makes me not a pro duelist like Aster and Zane. But no, I agree. Like, that slice of life is what's so important about GX. And I think GX is so special for that. And I know some people who've started watching it recently and they don't love the slice of life. It's kind of a big part of it, and it does fade away as the show gets more serious. Series 1 is, I think Series 1 gets the balance like really good. It's half silly and half serious. And then Series 2, I think it's weird because you'll get like a super silly episode, but then the last 5 minutes are like the darkest thing in the show, and then it goes back to being stupid again. And I found the tone was a bit off in terms of the balance. The stuff, like if I tell you what happens in Series 2 of GX, is really cool. But if you have to watch it, you have to get through like the monkey episode and the episode where he's got amnesia and the episode where he can't see his cards. And like they're cool on paper, but you have to watch it for 20 minutes. And it's like, oh geez, can you just get to the point? You get back to Duel Academy, Jaden, please God. You're in a boat for 4 episodes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But then I think 3 went very dark. And I think it was cool, but I did miss the slice of life fun of GX. I think, I think the limitations, Jaden was a limitation on GX, because if GX was any other show, Jaden would start in red and then he would work really hard and then he'd graduate to yellow and then he'd work really hard and then he'd graduate to blue, and you would have like an actual arc, you know what I mean? He would show that he's getting better because he would lose to Zane, draw to Zane, beat Zane, like the transition. But because he just doesn't care, it is quite hard for them to think of what do we do in the Duel Academy setting, I think, because Jaden doesn't actually care at all about getting to Obelisk Blue. And that's why they tried to do it with Cyrus, but it's almost like an afterthought with Cyrus, because it's not during the plot that he levels up. It's always like at the beginning of a series, Cyrus will go off and fight some random person in Obelisk Blue, and then he'll suddenly be a Ra Yellow, and then he'll suddenly be an Obelisk Blue. It's not like at the end of Series 1, Chancellor Shepard goes, you know what, Cyrus, you did such a good job in the Shadow Rider arc. You are now a Ra Yellow, and everybody claps. And it's like the Hogwarts ceremony at the end of every film. No, because nobody cares about Cyrus, because Cyrus doesn't get to do any plot. He doesn't get to help. And therefore he doesn't graduate for that reason, until he, starts doing stuff. But he doesn't really start doing anything until about Series 4, I don't think, when he gets the Cyber Dogs. It's like, if Shadows were in GX, they are such a good fusion deck. Imagine. I would love just, we say all the time of like, why don't they make new content for the old shows? I'm not an idiot, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think tomorrow they'll say we're going to do a new series of Yugi. I think that's just too much. But a movie, I don't think would be too much to ask. Like one off, like an hour, whatever, an hour and a half. Yeah. They could do that with GX. They could do that with 5Ds. There's stuff to say, stuff to do. Arc 5. I assume that you watched all of Arc 5, or most of it. I've watched most of it, yeah. How did you feel about the recurring characters, as someone who's been a fan of all of the original Yu-Gi-Oh? I definitely liked it. I definitely liked the returning characters. I think they could have done more. Yeah, with the ones they had and with the ones that they didn't have, you know what I mean? I think. Like, Asta, for example, could be fleshed out more. Yeah, it's weird because he doesn't really work if you don't know who Asta is already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if it wasn't Asta, let's say he was just some faceless guy. He's just a guy who turns up, he wins a duel, then loses a duel, and then he's a friend. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But he's only interesting because he's Asta, and he is interesting because it's cool to see Asta again, and we haven't seen him for ages. But I always think about that with the cameo characters. Like, if this was just some random guy, would it be still cool? And I think with Jack, yes. I think Crow has a little bit. I think Kite less so. He's just angry. Kite is weird because Shay, whatever he's called, Shun Obsidian, the Raid Raptor guy. Yeah. He already basically was Kite. It felt like he was like the Kite for Arc 5. And then you had Kite next to New Kite. And it's sort of like, you kind of both don't need to be here. Like, which one of you? We don't need both of you guys, so you're both basically the same guy. Yeah. I also feel like the lack of the past protagonist personalities, let's say, really sucks. Yeah. I like Yuto. I like how edgy he is. Yeah. And he's like dark and mysterious. I definitely like the fact that he isn't stupid like Yuma. No. Like, to be fair, Yuma's not that stupid, but Yugo is. Yugo is for sure stupid. Stupid as anything. Yeah. Yugo is probably the closest we get to Jaden in the show. I have a T-set pass combination here. I will give you a hint. You'll have 3 yes-no questions to narrow it down. These cards do not necessarily need to be related in any particular way, but they will fit the hint of the clue. You have 2 guesses on the monster and the card in the spell trap zone. These 2 cards in combination form an unlimited power that was used to defeat 2 major boss monsters in the anime. These 2 original series cards in combination formed an unlimited combo that was used to defeat 2 significant anime character boss monsters. Is it during the Seal of Orichalcos arc? No, it's not during the Seal of Orichalcos arc. Okay. So that's season 4 and 5, isn't it? Seal of Orichalcos. 4, I think, yeah. It might bleed over to 5 a little bit, but that's mostly 4. Yeah. But it's not series 4. Okay. These cards in combination. So I know normally the cards aren't related, but these cards must be used in combination with each other to do this particular play. Were they used during the final fight against Yami Bakura? They were not used in the final fight against Yami Bakura. There's 2 questions gone. At least if you get one of them, you've probably got the other one.
Is one of them Dark Magician?
No, one is not. One is not Dark Magician, and that's not one of your hints. That's one of your monster guesses. So you still have one more question, and you know it is not Dark Magician.
You really had to be mean.
I did have to be mean.
Was it during Battle City?
No. Not during the Seal, not during Battle City, and not during the final arc. So you know it's either in the virtual world or in the Duelist Kingdom. Because that's all about, or like one of the dodgy, terrible filler arcs. And I'll give you this for free. It's not in one of the dodgy, terrible filler arcs. It's in a proper series.
Okay, so it's got to be Duelist Kingdom.
Okay.
Because we've knocked out Orichalcos, we've knocked out Virtual World.
Mm-hmm.
We've knocked out the final fight against Yami Bakura, and we've knocked out Battle City.
And you've knocked out the Dark Magician. So you have 2 guesses left of the spell trap and 1 guess left of the monster.
Okay.
And they must use in combination to defeat 2 significant boss monsters. This is a play that was done multiple times. He did it more than once.
It's the face down magical hats.
Face down is not magical hats. You got 1 more guess on the monster and the spell.
It's the monster Blackluster Soldier.
No, I'm afraid not, Ghost. 1 last guess. You know it's in Duelist Kingdom. It's a play that they made twice.
Why am I thinking of Yugi's fight against freaking strings?
Ha, no. Well, that was the trick. I was going to try and trick you into thinking it was strings, but you've already ruled out Battle City. I always try and have one that already has an obvious guess that isn't the correct answer. Come on, they're sitting right here. Just use your Millennium Eye to see through the cards, and you will determine what they are.
What is it?
The monster is Karibo. And the spell is Multiply. When I use Multiply on Karibo, it forms an unlimited wall of Karibos that was used to defeat the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And when I dueled Pegasus, I summoned an unlimited summoning of Karibos to fill up all of the Thousand Eyes. 2 major boss monsters defeated by 1 little play. What advice would you give to a content creator who wants to just jump in? They want to be the new Ghost Galaxy cosplay. They want to hit that 100K. They want to be doing the dabs. They want to be hitting the cons.
Don't try and be someone you're not. Be yourself.
True, and the people will come. You've never tried to be anything for anybody else. You've just been yourself, your authentic self, and that's pretty damn cool.
Thank you for your kind gifts, Lewis, Sean, Ben, John, Zaid, Z, Corin, Eric, Wolfie, Joel, Cat, and Chaos. Big appreciation all round.